Hello everyone, welcome to What If Deku was the Destroyer? Some of you might not know what the Destroyer is. I'll give you a little bit of background. As you see in the picture, the Destroyer is, well, most of you probably know him from the MCU or live action films, shorts. The Destroyer. Let's talk from the MCU. Even though they did him dirty in the MCU, sadly. The Destroyer was sent by Loki to destroy Thor. Without his powers and hammer. And what was it? The first Thor movie. Ended up failing due to Thor getting his hammer back and becoming worthy once more. And now to the comics. What I mean, the Destroyer is an entity so powerful. I didn't even know this beforehand. Now I do. And I thought this would be cool for a What If. The Destroyer was created by Odin, Thor's father. Using the Odin Force and some other magical methods, with, of course, making it out of an unknown metal, or Uru is the Asgardian metal. But due to some sources of mine, it is made of a metal. I believe in one resource it said that the metal the Destroyer is made out of is a metal more durable than Uru, the Asgardian metal. So I'm going with that for this What If. Anyways, the Destroyer is an entity created by Odin to destroy Celestials. That didn't go as planned, not one bit. Why? It was used to try to kill destroy Asgard and kill Thor multiple times, either by Loki or by other people who hate Thor, or people just stumbled upon it, got their soul taken over by the Destroyer armor, which the Destroyer is sentient to a certain degree. It just needs a soul inside of it to actually activate. And after that, it tries to manipulate that soul into its natural, or what it is created to do, destroy. Due to its destructive nature, it kind of made a rampage on Earth and Asgard. It being destroyed, technically not being destroyed, but killing Thor one time, or a couple times. I think it was one time. Yeah, he killed Thor one time. Thor came back, whooped his butt, or wasn't technically... Well, I'm pretty sure... Wait, hold up. The Destroyer whooped Thor's butt on multiple occasions. Powers or not, Thor, without powers, he got swept up by the Destroyer. It's pretty powerful. That's all you gotta know. And it's able to destroy, if it has the probability, it has the ability to destroy many things. I don't know how strong it can get, but all I know is that its size, when it absorbs all the gods, is, 20,000 feet tall, if it absorbs all the gods. That is one of its limits that I know of. I do not know for sure. But that's pretty powerful and pretty tall. That's bigger than the Earth Godzilla. Anyways, besides that, yeah. That's a little bit of information on the Destroyer. It's a machine. Enchanted armor created to protect Asgard from the Celestials. So let's start with this What If, because I'm bragging on about this armor too much. Anyways, let's start off. So, back in Asgard, as Odin decides to deal with the armor. The armor has been used as a nuisance enchanted, controlled by others, including Loki. It's been in the grasp of Loki. Odin doesn't know what to do with the armor, knowing that he keeps it in Asgard's presence, some Loki or some other enemy forces will try to use the armor to defeat them with it. So what Odin thought was the best decision was to send it down to Earth using a sealing magic holder, a cylinder, as you will, like a container, as you will, to trap the armor, making sure none of its magical presence is sensed by any enemy. So as it is body frosted, or by the Bifrost, I think, it is bifrosted down on Earth, where no one can find it. As the years went on, the Avengers, Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, Black Widow, who else was there? One by one, Captain America, Hawkeye. One by one, as they all grew old, years have passed. One by one, they each started to die off, in a sort of sense. Years have passed, as Thor was the only one left of the Avengers still alive. But even he had his old age. After years, many years have passed, Thor has gained old in his old age. Those many centuries, thousands centuries, millions of centuries ago, decreased his age, and as his children right now, his children will take up the mantle. One of them will become king, and the other will do as they please. As you say, many years have passed, and Thor only has a year left of his lifespan to go. So, with this bit of his magic, or power, power, one of his children is granted king, and with that year, as time went on, Thor has been waiting for his downfall. More like death, if you see it. So he's been waiting years. Very, very long. 1 year left. As now we go down to Earth. As many centuries, eons, millennia have passed during the armor has been shot down from Earth to Earth. It has things have grown on top of the armor, or it was stuck in between, over years, layers and layers of dirt, plant life has grown on top of the container, as you would speak of, the container. As years went on, more and more plant life would have grown in that area, as the magic would have seeped out of the container somehow. Due to the old age, it would seep out of the container, creating plant life. And as quirks were now founded by humans. Quirks are the formation of magic, power, mutants, all other sorts of magical or powered characters or entities, you would say. X-Men, all of them have passed. Years, eons, they have all passed. They're only instances, as quirks were the last bit of hope for humanity, of any type of power. Even though much more weaker, it's more of a evolution, as you would say, to keep power from going away forever. It formed into quirks. As the first quirk was a bright light. I'm still keeping the canon timeline of My Hero Academia canon, so yeah. I'm still keeping everything canon until, as years go by. The armor, the destroyer armor, has long been forgotten. Long await. Even Thor himself has forgotten about it. Loki, all others have forgotten. All enemies that have ever known of the armor have forgotten. Either died, passed, or just forgotten in general. And as we go to two specific humans, and here's where the change happens. As a young teenage, should I say teenage? Or maybe young adult? I'll say young adult. As a young adult Inko and Hisashi go to a picnic to a certain area, you would say, near or on top of the armor, or the case of the armor. They make a blanket on this somewhat rock, rigid ground, planted ground with life. As the forest around them, singing the songs of nature. As Hisashi and Inko go have their own picnic date. Okay, let me think. Got you. Okay. So, as magic happens, and if you know what I mean, you know. I'm not saying anything other than that. I'm sorry. So yeah. Bam! A child was created right now. No. Okay, scratch that. A beginning created there, sorry. A new generation was created there. But the magic of the armor, there was a crack. Due to its over years, the casing became cracked. Magic formed atop. And I guess the cells inside Inko's body, some cells, you would say, gained magical properties. But instead of going to her, it goes to a little unborn Izuku, you would say. A little unborn Izuku. As it is right about a couple years later, like 3 years. Hold up, a couple of years later. Canon timeline now. Hisashi's gone. We know he gone overseas. So yeah. He totally didn't just go to get milk. Just saying. So Inko's alone. She's working, and Midoriya comes in as the canon timeline progresses. But before I do this, as Midoriya was forming, the doctors noticed that the nutrients inside of the unborn yet still in Inko Midoriya inside Inko's belly still. It's growing at Midoriya is growing at a rapid rate. due to the magic molecules of the Odin Force, or reminiscences of it. Ambers, as you please. Pieces of the Odin Force attached to the cells inside of Izuku, making him grow a bit faster than other babies, I guess. Making him stronger, taller, bigger. Increasing his stats in general. So after a couple months, he was born. Noticing he's a bit more bigger than normal, or bigger than average child. Even bigger than, big children, I guess. I don't know. He's bigger than normal children. That's all you know now. All you got now. He's practically like a giant. He was created by he's practically a giant at this point. Or like a giant baby. Somewhat, I guess. He's like only like 2 feet bigger than Bakugo. So that's somewhat of, I guess, okay? I don't know. So yeah. As the time grew, at kindergarten, I believe, or either pre-K, where were they? Yeah, they walk on a tree. As we go into Canada on that tree that was near that lake or something. Where was it? Or they're just walking in the woods. As Bakugo was about to fall off, and Midoriya grabbed him before he can fall off. In this timeline, instead of Bakugo falling, Midoriya grabbed him. Or Deku grabbed him before Bakugo couldn't even fall. And Deku fell himself. Meow. He fell. But something was different. As soon as he dropped on the ground, something felt hard under his bottom. Something was reaching out to him. As if a name was called. Destroyer. Or destroy, as whispers can be heard. As over time, the armor itself was revealed due to a river draft. Let's say there was a river there. Or like used to be a river. After rain and whatnot, the armor casing was somewhat shown. And due to Bakugo's personality, and still being, the arrogant person he is, and bully he is, as a child, Bakugo dips. He knows Midoriya's okay. He saw Midoriya giving a thumbs up and like, yeah. Not caring Bakugo, just went on and went to do his day. Yeah. Don't worry, he will get karma for that later. And so, as Midoriya touched the ground to see what he was sitting on, it was cold. A very cold, metallic-like touch. Like almost touching a mirror. As he looked down and he saw something metal. And he felt something. Something, as soon as he touched it, it rang to him, called him. As if something was pulling him towards it. As a giant beam of lightning. Should there be lightning? Why not? Shazam, JK. Or should I say the frost, the Bifrost, the portal they use. Or instances of it. Boosh! As the body frost. Not body frost apparently, but the instances of the body frost appeared. Bifrost, sorry, not body frost, Bifrost. Appeared. And Deku was now sitting in a circle with symbols all over him. Or around him, more like on the ground. As the armor was gone. Izuku had no idea, but he did find like some type of necklace on him. Or not a necklace, but he felt different. Deku felt different. Like he felt like something was different about him. So, after being scared, of course you're gonna be scared if you flipping light, like a lightning sound comes down, of course you're gonna be scared. So he runs. After a while, he doesn't tell anyone because, no one would believe him that he got struck by lightning, but it was actually Bifrost. I mean, it is what it is. But little what did he know, he has a necklace on him, a metal-like necklace. I'm changing some things. More like a magical object to summon some sort of, armor. Just saying. Hints and getting hints. Making some stuff up, so yeah. Making some stuff up. Leaving out some details for some reason. So yeah, it is what it is. As over time, Deku built his body up. As even Bakugo noticed. People all around him noticed that his stats, like speed, muscle, everything, was just increased dramatically. Like his muscle mass was just like Mirio at this point, like teenage Mirio. And he's how old? I'll say, let's say a year or two passes. So he's 7. Wait, hold up. 5, 6, yeah, he's 7. So he's like Mirio buff right now. He's pretty buff. So yeah, he's a pretty buff child. Yeah, he's a pretty buff child. So yeah. Bakugo don't mess with him. He can't Bakugo see the muscles. He may be arrogant, but he ain't dumb. He ain't stupid. And so, years went on. Midoriya was still on that ride with Bakugo train, so he was going with Bakugo still. But Bakugo, even though Midoriya or Deku got, how would you say, bigger in every sense, like flipping muscle wise, he didn't care. He still saw the useless Deku as he was. So he still bullied him as in canon. But every time a memory, as you will, of past events from the Destroyer popped into Midoriya's head. And Midoriya would get headaches of these memories, or he would call them dreams. But what he did not know, they were past battles with Thor and all other fights that the Destroyer has been in. So, as slow but surely, they drifted apart. Midoriya and Bakugo drifted apart. At least not yet. I'll tell you when they drift apart. So, time skip. Like a couple year time skip. They're at middle school now. Or, hold up. Were they at middle school? Okay, yeah, it's middle school. A day, like a week before, the middle school exit. You leave middle school, so it is what it is. No, it's like a day or so. Okay, so the day would pass. Couple days would pass as Midoriya would train his body to be fast, morally strong. Instead of working out his muscles and his, arms, he would work out every muscle in his body. Brain, bronze, speed, stamina, everything would just be worked upon. Gaining a sense of determination to become a hero, even though those who outcasted him from society, classmates of his, keep on saying he can't become a hero. As the day came, the teacher came in with papers. I know you all want to go to UA, as he throws up papers. And Bakugo does that smart word American can. He's like, y'all probably go. And as, continues on in the story. But that's the thing, something different happens. When the teacher calls out Midoriya or Deku, Midoriya doesn't decline it. He raises his hand proudly. Proudly, practically. As he stands up, yeah, I want to be a hero. I want to be the number 1 hero. And then, Baku comes and is like, you useless Deku. You can't do anything. And then, Deku in his whole life finally wanted to stood up for himself. Are you sure about Bakugo? And then that's what caught everyone off surprise, because everyone knows Deku calls, or Midoriya calls, Bakugo Kachan. So they're all surprised. What? What do you think, Deku? You think just because you're all high and mighty and strong looking, you think you can take me on? Listen, Bakugo. You are my bully, and you are just one of many walls I have to climb over. Compared to my future, you are just something I have to get over. Like an obstacle. You are an obstacle. If I don't see the truth in you, then I can never truly become the #1 hero. I cannot keep on lying to myself that you are my friend. You bully me every day. I follow you, and all I show you is kindness. But all you show is disrespect and disrespectful mannerisms, like spitting in my face, blowing me up, blowing my things up. I'm tired of it. As everyone was shocked to hear this coming out of Midoriya's mouth. This caught Bakugo off guard, as he was practically in a JoJo pose, like, yeah, practically. As class ended, and everyone went home except for Bakugo and a couple of Bakugo's lackeys with Deku. As you know, Bakugo pulls up like, "Hey, loser, you can't." As soon as this man Bakugo tried to touch this my boy's journal, he was like, he had his arm right here. He slammed his arm on the desk. He'd be like, "Nope, you ain't blowing up my desk." As instead of blowing up Midoriya's desk, Bakugo blew up his hand, which showed little to no damage. And Bakugo was like, "What? How's this possible? I thought I was at least able to hurt you." Listen, Bakugo. I've been attacked by your quirk so many times, I became practically immune to it. Remember the pain you put me through, as you once called you a friend. Those moments of our childhood we had together were no more. You grew cold. You grew villain-like. As you became older, using your quirk against others, calling others weak, just because they were quirkless. If you act like anything, you act more like a villain than a hero, Bakugo. If you really want to become a #1 hero, fix your personality, and then maybe you can become a hero. Okay, Bakugo? As Bakugo was like, "Ugh!" His anger was bubbling, but he knew he couldn't do anything about it, as he knew if he tried to do anything else, Midoriya would step in and be like, "What, you want to pull up? Yeet, by the boxing match?" As you know, the lackeys are laughing at Bakugo, like, "Ha! You're scared of this quirkless loser, Deku." And Bakugo was, his ego was growing, so he's like, Bakugo felt a little ballsy, and he was like, "You know what?" As he aimed his quirk at Midoriya's face, as Midoriya simply just grabbed his fist and turned it the opposite direction. Not break. You know what? Yeah, practically breaking Bakugo's wrist. A little bit, just a little bit. I mean, a decent bit. Yeah, he broke his wrist like nothing. Like, if you don't see how big the Destroyer is, you know how big Midoriya is gonna get. So I mean, yeah, that wrist broken, my guy. I guess he would help. It somewhat helps Bakugo in the long run. Like, 2% stronger explosions. I guess, I don't know. As Bakugo, instead of Bakugo blowing up the journal, he throws it, slipping his other hand under Midoriya's and throwing it out the window. Yeah. Try to get it now, loser. Deku. As all you hear was Midoriya getting up and cracking his knuckles. And Bakugo's lackeys ran outside of the classroom. As... Yeah, let's hit a day and, let's hit like an hour or two. Bakugo's in the not hospital, but in the recovery office. Midoriya's nowhere to be found. Or he was at that fountain in Canon collecting his book. He walks and walks. He takes a shortcut to get to his home faster. And the slime villain, or sludge villain as people call it, appears. I need your body, kid. Sorry, no problems. As you know, the sludge villain will try to use or go into Midoriya, I guess. Don't know how that works, but he'll try to take control of Midoriya's body, I guess, by going inside of him. Using him as a meat suit. As soon as the sludge villain touched Midoriya's necklace, Midoriya's entire body was halfway through the sludge villain. As soon as the necklace was touched, there was a rumble in the ground. As thunder, practically thunder, and an earthquake formed. As the casing, all the way back at the forest of the destroyer, has now been opened. And it has been summoned by its call. As in only moments' notice, I'll say, just for plot convenience, that the destroyer is as fast or a bit slower than Mjolnir. So yeah, the destroyer jumps up and just practically just yeets himself into the sky and is only there in like a couple seconds. Or, you know what, teleporting, using the Bifrost to teleport. So, that'd make a lot more sense, because I do gotta, nerf him a bit. So the what if doesn't get boring. So I do gotta nerf him a bit. So he used the Bifrost. Boom! As they're both under the village, there's a giant hole now under the village. Under the bridge. Sorry, I said village. Under the bridge. As Midoriya and part of the sludge villain was missing, as the destroyer was right there, staring directly at the sludge villain. As it's, that happens on the screen. It opens up. A blast of energy is bursted at the sludge villain. As the sludge villain tries and screams, tries to run away, as Midoriya falls. And in this timeline, All Might got lost, or he got lost a little bit longer, you would say. So after the sludge villain tried, let's say the sludge villain has some type of regeneration with his slime, so yeah, he does that. Adding some stuff to the sword. So yeah, he tries to, do things. Tries to run away, as, they got a decent, 5 minutes on their hands before the villain actually tries to move. So, Midoriya's like, whoa, are you a quirk? Oh, little did Midoriya know. He was still his, playful self and whatnot, just a bit more mature, you'd say. Whoa, are you my quirk? Did I summon you or something? And then the armor just stood still. As Midoriya moved a foot, and the armor moved a foot as well. And then as And then as the sludge villain tried to run, Midoriya grabbed for him as the destroyer armor opened its practically torso area, like opening up like an Iron Man suit. Putting Midoriya inside of itself, I guess. Like Iron Man suit, I guess, in sort of sense. So yeah. Practically. Now Midoriya doesn't notice this though. He feels as if he just has a second skin. So he runs to the sludge villain. Come back here. But he doesn't know why he ran for the... He doesn't know why he tried to chase the sludge villain, as if something was motivating him to destroy it. But Midoriya's personality and soul itself was stronger than the mindset or manipulation of the destroyer armor. As, a decent amount of the sludge villain is just obliterated away from the earth. Just obliterated off the face of the earth. Just leaving like 25% of the sludge villain actual, whole. So there's only 25% of sludge villain, so it kind of looks like a slime at this point, or like a puddle. The sludge villain is like, let's say the destroyer in Midoriya just grabbed the sludge villain and just threw him back under the bridge. Destroying him. Not destroying him completely, but destroying a lot of part of him. And then all you hear is footsteps, or senses someone else. All my cough cough. So Midoriya was like, what is this? What do I feel? What did I do? Oh my god. I got to, he dips. As any teenage boy does when they're not supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. So he dips. I am here! As All Might just sees a little mini sludge villain is like, did I miss anything? He looks around, looking for someone or something. Nothing found. As the sludge villain was huddled in the corner, he's like, traumatized. He was like, as he goes in the bottle willingly, out of just terror. What was that thing? Also, it only took one bottle instead of two or a couple. It only took one bottle since sludge villain was a lot more smaller. Since the destroyer decided to give a visit and obliterate half of his body, or 75% of his body. So yeah. So while All Might did that jump in the cannon, he was like, phew. He was thinking, what could have done this to the sludge villain? What could have done this to the sludge villain? I wonder. In his All Might thinking voice. And then, All Might being dumb, totally canon, but he drops the sludge villain due to him thinking too much. As, Bakugo and his lackeys are just talking as a random bottle falls from the sky. And, the brain and the smart person the Bakugo is, he decided to kick the bottle the sludge villain was at. Ooh! Like a soccer ball, opening the sludge villain. And this gave the sludge villain enough time, or waking up the sludge villain to reality. Like, wait, it's gone. That means I can hurry up. Due to me being smaller, I can easily take over someone's body a lot more quicker. As the sludge villain begins to grow, though. Wait, hold up. No, rewind that. As the sludge villain gets a waking call, wakes up from his, terrifying moment from meeting the destroyer. As he is, as in canon, tries to... Heroes come, people come, the cameras, everything comes, like in canon. As in, Midoriya's like... He's in like an alley, like... What did I do? Did I almost kill him? He tries to hyperventilating, like... What did I do? As, any normal person would do after almost killing someone. And then he feels like... And then, something calms him down. He doesn't know what, but, this is the influence of the Destroyer armor. And, he gets calm. He gets calmer. As, since they actually have a chance to flip and connect instead of, straight on action, the connection between both calms down as Deku's personality starts to shift in this very moment to a little bit of calm, but like still scared but calm, like, what did I do? What was that? It's probably a dream. And he rubs himself with water as he notices something's on him. Did I awaken my quirk? He tried to do the same thing that, the energy blast the Destroyer did, but it doesn't work. Huh. I guess that must have been a dream. It was probably me being scared of dying that made me illusion that. Made that illusion. My fear made that illusion of someone actually being there. Whoa, I look cool. And he hears a boosh, 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 boosh. Explosions, 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 explosions. As badass. He runs to the location, slides, or he runs. He still doesn't know his full capability of running, so he slides, like kind of like All Might, how he slides to, like, okay, here we go. All Might, he uses limit up, so All Might can't do nothing. All Might, he's at that canon stage where he's in the crowd, like, oh no, why doesn't anyone have a quirk to handle this? We just gotta stay back until a person with a quirk that can handle this dude, can handle this villain. Everyone's freaking out because as a student, and out of nowhere, people just hear a charge. Like Midoriya sees this is like, because Midoriya's still Midoriya, so deep in Midoriya, he still sees Bakugo as a friend. Midoriya's not gonna change. I mean, he may say it, but deep in his heart, he knows Bakugo to him is still a friend. So, the anger, the destructive nature, the influence, as everyone just feels it, like just a power, like an entity, or like some type of presence, as they all look behind them, and they just see this bulking, massive, like, armor, as you see in front of you. They just see this armor opening up. Or, not opening up, more like, I say like a light in the background. Like that. Yeah, exactly. Like that. So it's like a blue in the background, so yeah. He's like, doosh, doosh. As blue energy. I'll say this is his protective aura. And then, when he's scared or when he wants to actually attack person instead of protecting them, it becomes like a red aura. So, a blue aura forms around him as he walks. As people try to stop him, it's like, actually no, they wouldn't. They would probably think he's a hero due to his just massive size. So people just see this 11-foot figure, or armor. So it's like, tush, All Might sees this and he was like, a new hero? What? Maybe he can help this child. He goes like this. And, in echoey armor voice. Let the boy go. or you feel the wrath of Destroyer. And you know, the slime villain's like, you again? Yeah, he's terrifying now. He's like, you can't get it, you're too far away. The other time was just, it was just a fluke. The other time was just a fluke, he can't do it again. And, you know, he tries to, like, while talking to, Midoriya, or the Destroyer, which are practically the same person, he tries to, like, you know, goes inside, Bakugo tries to go inside, and, you know, Midoriya and the Destroyer, well, technically, Midoriya sees this, he's like, no you don't. You know, all you hear is a charging, or like, a fiery noise. As, you know, the lids on his eyes open up. Like that, exactly. As people see fire inside his body. And then he bursts out. As that energy is just like a gun. Like the energy is just like a gun. Beam. Like a red beam just almost impaling the sludge villain. As Midoriya or Deku comes closer to sludge villain, ripping Bakugo out, and then just not completing the job, but like making it so the sludge villain can't move. So he just, like, you know, yeah. So people say, "Hey, what's your name?" Hey, are you no hero? After only silence from the armor. Midoriya is silent as well. As at this point, Midoriya is not in control. The armor is. As the only thing that caused this was the protection and friendship dear inside of Deku's heart that he still had for Bakugo. As the armor was quiet and just continued to roll, looking for the next god to destroy, you know. The first god he's supposed to see, he's supposed to, you know, kill, so I mean, that's how it was created, so yeah. He sees no threat, or, you know, no god threat, so he just continues. And, you know, people try to, you know, they're crowding around him, so, the art, or Deku, he's getting annoyed, so, you know, he just jumps, like All Might, like, meow, jumps, and, you know, he gets out the kind of like I want to change the armor a little bit, to the point where it's kind of like a symbiote, if you want it to, so it goes inside Midoriya, like a symbiote almost. So he was like, what was that? I don't know what happened. And, you know, All Might comes out of nowhere. I am here. And then All Might surprised is like, isn't this the direction that Hero went? So yeah. Deku's like, he went that way. He points to, like, another street. He's like, thank you, young man. So, you know, he runs. All Might runs, but trying to find, you know, the hero he assumes to be Hero. As the day ends, and Inko sees this. And, you know, Deku gets home and he shuts the door. And he was like, Mother. JK, he's like, Mom? I think I awakened my quirk. Practically. So, you know, the next day they go to the doctors, finding... They don't think it... Well, I mean, it's not a quirk, the doctors say, but they do say that it may be a new generation of a quirk where you can't just sense it or, test it, as it might not be a normal quirk. It might be, a new generation of a quirk. Or, a new evolution of a quirk where it does things, So yeah, that. And as we end the video on that, that was a lot of things. Yes. Thank you for everyone for watching, and goodbye. Good night, everyone. Depending on time zones. Bye, guys. Bye-bye. Yeet.